Welcome to another week, guys. Just 2 more weeks and Christmas. Make sure, as always, you fill out the date. Fill out your name. Should be able to read it. And do your best to work nice and neat. All right, as always, make sure you fill out cohort. Most of you are cohort 6, some of you are cohort 4. Let's just knock this out. Simplify. Simplify means a lot of different things depending on what you're given. In general, it means you're going to put all your variables together and all your numbers together and try to get it as condensed as possible. The first thing we always do is we're going to distribute. Then after we distribute, we're always going to combine like terms. And that's basically it. So notice there's no equal sign. That means I'm not drawing a line, I'm not moving things around. There's not going to be any flipping. We're just going to go ahead and distribute. This 6p is just coming down. Negative 7 times positive 4p, negative 28p. Negative 7 times negative 7, positive 49. Oh, forgot to write the 4. 49. And these both have p's, so make sure we put those together. One's a positive, one's a negative, so it's a subtraction. We keep the sign from the bigger number. These cannot go together anymore because this one doesn't have a variable and this one does. So this is my answer. I'm going to go ahead and distribute here. Again, the 9x comes down. Negative 24, negative 40x. The x's go together. Again, a negative and a positive. Sorry, positive and a negative. So I'm getting a negative 31. Solving an equation. This is anytime you have an equal sign, you're basically going to get the variable alone and you're done. So I want the variable alone. I'm always going to start with, I'm going to add and subtract first. And then after I'm done with that, it's either a multiply or a divide. But you're basically always going to add and subtract first. So I'm going to move the 17 over here because I want the a by itself. So I'm going to add 17 because I need those to cancel out and go to 0. So the opposite of a negative 17 is a positive 17. The a comes down. Don't forget to write your equal signs. Positive 17, negative 26. I'm getting a negative 9. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to just check with my calculator. Negative 26 plus 17, negative 9. I am right. And that's an A and it looks like a 9, so I'm going to write a capital A. And I'm done. I'm just going to rewrite it so that's easy to tell. Again, I want the variable alone, so I'm going to just add 17. X equals 17. Done. I want the a by itself. I can't add or subtract anything because there's not separate terms. That 7 is connected with that a, which means it's multiplied. So the opposite of a multiplication is division. You are not dividing by the a. If you wrote an a down here, I would mark you wrong. The a is coming down. I'm getting a negative 5. Again, this is multiplication. Opposite of multiplication is division. I don't know what it is. I do know it's positive. Negative 135 divided by negative 9. I'm getting 15. Got my answer. Okay, let's go on to this one. Again, I'm going to add and subtract first. Add and subtract first, and then multiply or divide. I'm going to move this negative 1 to the other side. The opposite of a negative is a positive. bring down the r divided by 7. 1 plus 1 is 2. And now I have the term with the r alone. So the term just means the group. To get rid of this dividing by 7, the opposite of divide is multiply. Do not use the x for multiply anymore. Use a dot or parentheses. Those cancel out. R equals 14. Okay, on to a slightly tricky one. Sorry, I forgot to box my answer. I want the variable alone. The variable is connected to both this 2 and this 3. I have to do the 3 first because it's happening to everything. So to get rid of this division, I'm going to multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. And then these 3's cancel out, and I have an x plus 2. Now I can just subtract 2 from both sides, and I'm done. Slope intercept form of the line. It needs to be y equals mx plus b. I want the y over here, then the x, then the b. So I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to move the 12 first. I'm going to put the 12 over here at the end. I always line up my terms. The 12 doesn't have a y, so it can't go under the y. It doesn't have an x, so it can't go under the x. It has to go at the end by itself. You do need to write the 0 because it's the only thing on that side, so it needs to be there as a placeholder. Bring everything down. Go ahead and move the y to the other side now. For y equals 3x plus 12. I want that y by itself. Divide every single term. Notice how every time there's a plus or a minus, I divide every single thing by that 4. Y equals, leave it as 3 over 4, put the x on the side, and that's just 3. That's my equation. This one's a little bit closer. We've already got the y in the right spot and the x in the right spot. We're going to move that 4 to the end. When it flips what side of the equals on, that's when it flips signs. I want to get rid of that negative, so I can do this either by multiplying by a -1 or dividing by a -1. Both ways, it's going to get you, every single sign is going to flip. All done. Good luck, guys.